This is the one type of line where everyone seems to be curious about it. Everyone thinks that they should go to this type of line, or they're just curious as to what would this mean for them. And that is Jupiter lines in astrocartography. So it makes sense. I mean, in astrology in general, Jupiter represents abundance, expansion, luck, spirituality, religion, law, etc., etc. So I get the hype. However, in this video, I'll be breaking down the 4 different types of Jupiter lines that corresponds to the 4 angles, which would be the Jupiter Ascendant line, the Jupiter Descendant line, the Jupiter IC line, and the Jupiter MC line. All right, for those of you who have been trucking along with me in this astrocartography series, welcome back. But if you're new here, my name is Faith. I'm an astrologer. I specialize in astrocartography as well as money readings. The purpose of my work is to help you use your birth chart or your astrocartography map as a tool for alignment. So this tool can help you align financially, locationally, whether that's finding your purpose, love, etc., etc. So before we get into the different Jupiter line types, I want to specify or clarify what Jupiter represents in astrology in general, because this is going to help the information that I give you for each line land much more smooth. When Jupiter shows up in your chart, things tend to expand, things tend to grow. Everything good or bad can blow up. So growth is great, but too much of anything can be a little bit overwhelming. And that is the energy of Jupiter. On the one hand, it is luck, abundance, expansion, prosperity. Like I said before, religion, spirituality, law, teaching, etc., etc. On the other hand, it could be hubris. It could be an inflated ego. It could be overcompensating, overgiving. It could be just thinking you are larger than life or better than the next person, or that you are, special, chosen in some type of way when that may not be the case. So while it is just fun energy in general, I want to be clear that again, too much of anything can kind of have the reverse effect. So when it comes to your astrocartography map, if you are going to locations along these Jupiter lines, then you will be presented with opportunities and life situations or challenges where, one, yes, you may expand and you may grow, and all of this fun and new, exciting, optimistic energy can manifest in these places or near these places. But you also want to keep in mind that just the same, you can expand in ways that you may not want to, or in ways that you may not have been anticipating. You can begin to overcommit or just have this inflated sense of self that can be more detrimental than supportive. So you want to keep all of these things in mind. As always, I'm always going to recommend that you check your personal chart and your personal relocated charts, as well as, obviously check the dignity of your Jupiter, check the aspects to your natal Jupiter, etc., etc. See what you have going on. But these lines can be really fun. I just want to give you the pros and cons as always. Now I want to break down each Jupiter line per angle. Remember, in astrocartography, we are pretty much creating our own transits and placing the planets either on or very close to each angle within the birth chart. And if that sounds very confusing, then check out my What is Astrocartography video, where I break down kind of what this concept is, along with a brief overview of all the different types of lines and other stuff that you may see on your astrocartography map. Okay, so starting with the first angle, let's talk about the Jupiter Ascendant line. Now, the Jupiter Ascendant line, it can have you feeling really good, really lucky, really optimistic. This places Jupiter directly in your first house or near your first house. So all of this luck and abundance and expansion is coming to you. You may also find yourself in more leadership positions or just receiving more opportunities to be a leader or become a leader in some way, shape, or form. This is great for any type of investments or just putting yourself out there. Any type of personal branding tends to go really well here because people feel this lucky energy radiating off of you. People feel this fun, vibey energy that you have. I don't know how to describe it. Like if you've ever been around a happy-go-lucky Pisces or Sagittarius, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like I know a Sagittarius where she's always winning something. She's always winning either, like a random drawing or a lottery ticket, like stuff like that. So these things where it's just natural, you're not really trying that hard, but you are being seen in a way where it's fun, it's cool, it's casual. And, even the things that you consciously go after, you are still able to, for the most part, kind of have a lucky break per se under this energy of the Jupiter ascendant line. Now, another thing to be mindful of is obviously Jupiter is one of the planets that is related to money in astrology. So could be a great line, or places along this line could be great for investing or just overall, applying for that job, submitting that resume, building that brand. Like I said, whether that's a personal brand or just an overall more larger company and you're not the main focus of the company. But just keep all these things in mind. Now, on the other end of that, you can also physically expand, so that you think fertility, like, having children or actually gaining weight. But in general, you just feel larger than life. You feel bolder. You feel more courageous. You feel a little bit more confident in yourself and your abilities. So keep all of these things in mind. Overall, this energy is very expansive, I would say. I would also recommend that you should watch your spending if you are on a Jupiter ascendant line. Watch, how much you're going out, how much you're drinking, etc., etc. Again, too much of anything can become a little bit more detrimental. But overall, great line to be on. All right, moving on to the second angle for Jupiter lines. We have the Jupiter descendant line. So this is all about your relationships, and it places Jupiter near your 7th house. So here, this is very expansive relationships. You may find a lot of collaborations here. You may also just find that people are more wise here. People are more generous here. People have unique talents that kind of add value to your life, or just overall, you are finding a expansive or a variety of connections and different people that you're connecting with. From a money or business perspective, this is great for finding people who pour into you or who may elevate your financial status in some way, whether that's business partnerships, collaborations, marrying a spouse who, is financially secure, whatever the case may be. When we think about this energy, it's kind of similar to the 8th house concept or benefiting from 8th house placements when we talk about money and astrology. So think about that. But just overall, this energy is very nice. If you have boundaries. So again, you have to think about this expansion side of Jupiter. So what I've noticed with the Jupiter descendant line, while it is great as far as having a plethora of people around you, if you are too open and just give, and you don't ask, then you may find yourself a little bit more resentful. If you don't have enough boundaries, then the relationship can kind of consume you in a way where you feel like you're pouring more in than the other person. So it is a breeding ground of unspoken expectations if you don't know how to navigate this energy. So make sure that while you love giving and you love hard, I'm sure, be mindful of, how much of a give and take each relationship or connection is, how much of a toll that's taking on you. And this does not have to be romantic. This can be platonic, friendships, familial, whatever the case may be. But I've just noticed that energy with a few clients where it's like under the Jupiter descendant line, it could be an imbalance of the give and take. So keep that in mind. Now, the third line we'll talk about is the Jupiter IC line. Now, this line is all about the home, your inner foundation, your inner world. So of course, with Jupiter being near the 4th house, this is heavily related to your home and you just feeling good in your local neighborhood. So this energy can feel very, very expansive. The IC also can relate to family, lineage, early childhood. So here you may really feel like you found a place that nourishes you, that pours back into your soul or your soul alignment. Here, this is great for real estate opportunities or just expanding in a way beyond you, maybe your local community. Maybe you find like a lot of good neighborhood places that you like, or groups that you like, or organizations that you like to support within the local community. Along this line, you may find a lot of locations that are very rich in culture, or just in general, you feel very connected with the people. The people may teach you something new, or you may really enjoy the philosophy that's associated with some of the cultures along this line. This line could also teach you that it's okay to expand beyond your normal horizons, right? You may be exposed to new ways of living or new ways of life that changes you on a core level or internally. In general, this line can also generate some type of generational or familial wealth. Think like inheritances, or again, some type of marriage that benefits you in some way with Jupiter being near the fourth house, or your parents giving you some type of money, land, housing, etc. This energy could also show up as being prosperous as far as working from home or starting a business outside, or like operating from your home. So keep all these things in mind if you plan on relocating to or visiting a Jupiter IC line. And the fourth angle would be the Jupiter MC line. Now, this is one of everyone's favorites. It's the alleged or assumed money line, or one of the money lines, depending on how your chart is set up, and there are other factors that play into your money lines per se, but it is one of the lines that does attract a lot of opportunities, especially when it comes to money or career. It places Jupiter near the 10th house, right on the right on the MC angle. So this is related to career, this is related to legacy, this is related to business. So here you can really expand yourself financially, whether that's through, working for yourself or climbing up the corporate ladder, just, doing things your way. You're naturally standing out, or you're being seen, like I said, in a more favorable light, and you just have a lot of opportunities coming toward you. You definitely will have leadership opportunities here, or just overall being in the spotlight opportunities. This is great for if you are trying to put yourself out there, or if you are trying to market, brand, etc., etc. This is great for teaching. This is great for if you're doing anything where you have to just kind of be in the public eye. And normally opportunities where you may not even have been looking for them, they tend to kind of show up at your doorstep under this energy. So this is great energy to be under if you are wanting to grow in some way. I would just be mindful of, like I said, prior to Jupiter energy, this overcompensation aspect of it. Make sure that if you receive an opportunity, don't just try to finesse it and say, oh yeah, I can do that, knowing like, oh my God, I have no idea how to do that. All right, guys, that is a wrap on today's video. Jupiter lines are great to visit or potentially relocate to, depending on what you have going on in your natal chart or your relocated chart. Remember that the astrocartography map in general is just a visual reflection of your relocated charts. So Jupiter on these different angles, whether that's the ascendant, whether that's the MC, the descendant, the IC, it will feel different, and it may resonate differently for different people. And the other thing I want you to remember is you do not have to visit these places. You can remotely activate these lines. So I'll kind of make another video on that. But until then, guys, remember that these lines can be great for expanding your life or bringing more abundance into your life. Just remember not to overdo it, and balance is the key to everything under Jupiter's energy. And if you are looking to expand in some way, make sure you remember to also be prepared to do the work. Okay. So if you are still like, girl, what are you talking about? I have a ton of free resources here on YouTube. The main thing would be the astrocartography playlist itself. I'll also link my Foundations of Astro Mapping course down below. I'll also have my free astrocartography guide, as well as my link to book a personalized reading where I can break all this information down for you. And if you're just looking to expand from a financial aspect, I also will link my signature money and astrology course, Cosmic ATM. There you can kind of use this energy along with other planetary placements investments to maximize your money. All right. But until next time, thank you so much. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you have experience under your Jupiter lines. Which is your favorite one? What was your experience like? I actually enjoy hearing from you guys. So I'll be looking out for that in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.